If you make music and you want to take your career to the next level, then listen up. Whether you're an independent artist as a singer, songwriter, a producer, a mix engineer, a manager of an artist, this video is going to be incredibly powerful for you. As some of you guys know, I'm retiring from the music marketing space, and I'm going to have a video that explains that here in the next few days. But I recently did my retirement training, the last training that I'm ever going to do for a very small group of people. And I realized I didn't tell my YouTube people about it. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the training that I did just like a week or so ago. And with that said, this training was so much fun. I pulled out all the stops. We went for over an hour teaching musicians just like you how to take your passion and turn it into an actual career, how to take a skill set and turn it into an actual business. So take notes, make sure you don't miss a thing, and watch all the way through. I appreciate you joining me, and let's jump in. So the Artist Success Blueprint is what you guys are here for, not for me showing you my glow up and showing you how I overcame challenges. The reason that I bring this up is to acknowledge the fact that a lot of people think that I was handed things on a silver platter. Not the case whatsoever. A lot of you guys are in positions where you feel like the world is against you, whether it's politics, whether it's your environment. I grew up in central Wisconsin, very blue collar. It was either work at the wood window factory, which I did for 4 years right out of high school before I moved to Florida. I say that I escaped the wood window factory. It was working at Green Heck Fan, which was one of the largest manufacturers of these like giant industrial fans that they put in like Amazon warehouses, like the big ones that suck the hot air out of the factories. Like I could have made $30 an hour there. Like that was the success path for me in that environment. But it's not the success path for you. You guys have creativity flowing through you and you can build a business around it, but we have to look at the structural components of that. We have to look at how the artist-fan relationship is built. Now, this slide, as I was making it, kind of cracks me up because it's like a fake Tinder flow chart, right? You bump into the main profile, then you click on that profile to see a little bit more information. And then if you connect with them, you talk with them in the chat, you try to strike up a conversation, and you officially match at some point, and then you have a list of matches. Well, you guys understand the correlation between you being a musician and actually dating? It's like exactly the same thing. We're building that relationship between you being an artist and you connecting with fans. The picture that so-called Jessica Smith has, that's her calling card to the world. That's the first thing people see. And then when somebody clicks on that, you need a little bit more information, a little bit more context. Sound familiar? Maybe a reel on Instagram, maybe a video on YouTube, maybe a photo on Instagram for that matter. Then somebody comes to your main profile to see what else you have to offer. And then they engage, whether it's a comment, whether it's a DM, whether it's a like, whether it's a share, whether it's a save. Might have a conversation just like the middle with that person back and forth. I know at least a dozen of you guys that are in here right now that we've had great conversations in DMs. We've had great conversations via email. We've had great conversations. A couple of you guys on the phone. Those of you in my Accelerator program who I became really good buddies with. We have the ability to match with people. And just like on the far right side where this individual matched with one person, people, 6 people, that's how it happens. 6 people turn into 60 people, turn into 6,000 people, turn into a career, if that makes sense. But before we jump into that, we have to look at how the foundation of all of this plays a huge role rather than the flash. Side note, I'm super proud of me wearing a black turtleneck with a chain, but I don't have like I'm not like a Giga Chad. I don't have like a super strong neckline. So like the turtleneck just kind of blends into my face. Anyway, foundation is where we have to start. This is the one you need. So many of you guys have been lured into a paid ads course. You've been lured into like the easy button, right? Sign up for this thing and you'll automatically get 100,000 streams or your money back. How many of you guys have fallen for that bullshit? It's because you didn't get the foundation set up. You're just looking at the flash. And as a marketer, as a business owner, as somebody that's trying to gain your attention, it is too easy to be like, I'm going to teach you how to get 1 million streams on Spotify. How many people have you followed on YouTube that tell you how to get 1 million streams on Spotify and have never fucking done it themselves? That's why I never did that video. I've never done a video like that, right? We have to get the foundation locked in before you go to the flashy stuff. So today I'm going to be sharing my 5C framework. This is going to get your foundation rock solid. This is going to get your foundation so ironed out that your system will now make so much more sense for you as you move forward as a creative entrepreneur, as a musician. So we're going to, everybody on board still, like, let me know in the chat if the audio is good, if the slides are showing correctly, if you guys are following along. Amazing. Oop. All right. So number one is clarity. If you're not clear on what you're doing, don't expect anybody else to be. Clarity eliminates confusion. Either you know where you're going or you're lost. So many people that I've seen, I can only speak for personal experience. So many people that I've seen come to me and say, hey, I can't grow on social media. I'm not getting any streams. You just see from a mile away instantly that they're confused on what they're doing. They don't have intention. They don't have purpose. You go and check out one of their social media. They're baking a cake over here. Then they have one like live gig, super low lit, grainy footage. And then they have like a skit or a parody that they're doing. And then over here, they're working out. Like, we're all guilty of it at some point. But why are you making music in the first place? Is it for fun? Is it for self-satisfaction? Is it to share with the world? Is it to build a fan base around a movement? Because doing one is not the other, is not the other, is not the other. Those of you who will succeed have to have clarity locked in. Why are you making music? I want to know who, which of you on this call right now is clear with that. Let me know in the chat. On a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being you are effing super clear, and a 1 being you're completely lost. Yeah, Patrick knows what's up. Dan, we got 10s, we got 7s. Be honest, guys. Be honest. If you guys feel like you're a 2 or a 3, that's why we're here right now. Couple people with 3s, 10s, 6. Having clarity has nothing to do with ambition. Having clarity is having focus, not having the mind fog when it comes to what you're doing, with the intention, with going after your purpose and your fulfillment, something you need to do. You must do this. That's a level 10. Joseph is solid 6. I respect it. Susanna's a 9. Second C is content. I know a lot of people don't like the word content. They don't like me talking about it. Like, how many of you guys kind of cringe where you're like, oh, I didn't sign up for this to make content and be an influencer, right? I get it. I've been there. But the only way you're influential is by becoming a household name for the people that matter to you the most. So instead of being an influencer, why don't you just become an influential creator, an influential entrepreneur? Does that make sense? Somebody, Patrick, can you make sure everybody's muted? I keep hearing like random noises. Thank you. So your content isn't just about throwing stuff against the wall and hoping that it sticks. It's about creating the right stuff that gets the target audience hooked and makes them want more. I used to make beat making videos and kind of, Logic tutorials. A lot of that stuff is taken down now, but it was years ago. And that would attract artists or other producers that I could then talk to and start building my email list. And I started doing a spreadsheet, and I've talked about that before in YouTube videos. But here's the thing, the content, once it got very clear, started converting. If you ask anybody like my buddy Cato, he's a producer, he's making easily, healthy 6 figures, and he makes content. That is his number one attraction source, his number one traffic source. But once you have the clarity, now your content becomes more clear. Does that make sense? Your content now makes sense. I said make sense twice there, but you get what I'm saying. Your clarity into your content can now go to your client. A lot of you guys might not like the idea of your fan base being a group of potential customers or clients, but that's what they are, right? If you go to a Foo Fighters concert and you buy merch, you are a customer, and you've already been a customer since the time you bought the ticket. Our fans, our audience are just that. They are the people that follow us. They're the people that appreciate what we're doing, hopefully, but they are customers and clients. These are the people that we need the most. And like it says on the screen, you don't need 1 million followers. You just need the right ones. You need to speak to your ideal client like you're in their head. and you build a following that buys. A lot of people, and I just saw a video, I forgot who, I think it was my buddy Andrew Southworth talking to Jesse Cannon or something, but he's like, he knew somebody that had 1 million TikTok followers and couldn't sell, 200 tickets to a show or didn't have 2,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. So it doesn't correlate. Just having people doesn't equate to a successful career. Having the right people does. A lot of people in this room right now understand what I'm talking about. You have 1,000 people, Kevin Kelly, he has this like famous dissertation, little essay. It's like 1,000 true fans. If you have 1,000 people that pay you, what is it? $100 a year, it's $100,000. He's not equating for churn, which is like people that pay you this year and don't pay you next year. But if we have a bucket, I should have brought like a Home Depot bucket up here. If we have a bucket and it can hold 5 gallons of water, our career is not like made once the bucket is filled. Because the bucket, once it starts spilling over, those are the people that no longer buy. So you have to keep putting water in the bucket, right? So somebody that's rocking with you day one, rocking with you 10 years from now, rocking with you until they're like old and gray, that's like a super fan. That's what I call family. It's like stranger, follower, friend, or stranger, follower, fan, family. That's what I call super fans. But if you're not putting out the right content to the right people, if you're just following trends, if you're just seeing what other people are doing and trying to, copy that, it's going to be a tough road for you. It's going to be a tough road for me. We got to have an individualized voice. And that comes from, it's number 5, little teaser, spoiler alert, right? Number 4 is conversion. So you guys see how we're going here? Clarity is mindset. Understanding, having focus, having an attention, living within your purpose. Content is how you attract that attention, which we're going to talk about here in a bit. The client is who we're serving, understanding what you're making for who you're serving and how you're going to convert. If your content doesn't have a clear call to action, it's just entertainment. You're not here to entertain. You're here to convert attention into dollars. Does that make sense? Are all you guys seeing number 4 on the screen? Okay. If it freezes up, just jump out, hop back in. Anybody want to guess what number 5 is? If you know it, if you've talked to me in the last few days and I'm geeking out about this stuff, don't spoil it for anybody. But if you know what the 5th C is, I'd love to see it in the chat right now. Guess. Simon, cash? Nope. That's a good one though, but that would be linked directly with conversion. These are some good guesses. We got community, customer, consistency, community, fulfillment, commitment, consistency. I won't leave you guys hanging anymore. It's confidence. Confidence isn't just some magical trait. It's earned. The more reps you put in, the better you get. Do it over and over again, and the confidence becomes your default. You guys hear what I said? The confidence becomes your default. How important is that? Well, have you ever got on camera and you feel kind of weird? You ever go for a gig or you're busking and you just feel super uncomfortable? You ever jump on a call with someone or call to see if someone will book you at the local cafe and it just feels awkward? It's because you haven't put your reps in.
It's good, people. Adam Ivy making another beat today. I'm doing an R&B pop track today. If you want to contact me, all my contact information will be on the side. It's good, people. Adam Ivy making another beat today. I'm doing an R&B pop track today.
You guys seeing this? This was 2010. Not knowing what I was doing, not having real confidence, just kind of faking it. I look like a chubby lesbian. Sitting in my room, hat backwards. I never really wore a fitted cap. I'm sitting over here and I have this big ass Canon printer in the rack mount area because I didn't have any rack mount gear. I had these little Rocket 5s. The thing was, I knew that the repetition is going to get me to where I need to be. So I made the choice. And just a few years later, 14 years later, this is exactly how you can release your new music in 2024 and beyond, essentially for free. So let's jump in. So to start, we have to look at distribution. You see where the confidence comes into play? See how like day and night difference from doing 100, 200, 300 different videos? Your repetition becomes your reputation. Those of you guys who are rocking with me, those of you who have been supportive for years and years, you have seen the confidence grow. You've seen the repetition. A lot of people are like, Adam, do you script your videos? It doesn't even seem like you're reading off teleprompter. Like maybe 5% of all my videos are ever like teleprompter. Because if you do it day in and day out, if you live the life you're preaching, you don't need to read off of a fucking teleprompter. Does that make sense? Same goes for turning on a camera, recording yourself, performing, singing, talking about your music, sharing your passion with the world, and getting out of the shadows. I show this not to like embarrass myself or like, I show this because when I first started, it was, you guys, a lot of you. So I told the story recently. When I started doing the videos that were like teaching musicians how to do social media and build a brand and build a business and drive traffic and all that stuff, I used to get horrible camera anxiety, like bad. On top of that, I would usually shoot the videos after I got home from the gym because I was feeling pumped and feeling good about myself. And I was also on a ton of pre-workout. I'm like 2 scooping it, right? I'm going like straight to the mouth. So I'm like hyped up on a ton of caffeine and other crap. I just get home from the gym, so I'm pumped. I get in front of a camera that gives me anxiety. I'm overthinking everything, and I hit record, and because of it, I'm talking fast. But I was still talking. See, when you jump up in front of a camera, when you go to write a song, so many times, those of you in here that know how to play piano, you guys know how to sequence drums, you guys know how to do compositions in Logic or Pro Tools or FL or Ableton or whatever. Use a microphone, understand how to use outboard gear, compressor, all the different plugins. I can go real nerdy here. That's why I have slides so I don't get off track. You don't expect to be great at it day one. If you pick up a guitar, if I pick up a guitar day one, you know it's probably going to be 10 minutes of frustration. You're going to feel like you're carpal tunneling it the whole time. But you do it over and over again because you understand it will become natural. You will become good. Yeah, I've had students that come into the program over the years that have pretty good voices, and now they're phenomenal. I've also had students that have pretty good voices and quit. So you guys here, I'm hoping you're not the other people that are quitting. This is what confidence feeds. It's like a garden. You could sell more merch because you believe in what you're selling. You believe in what you're preaching. You believe in what you're offering to your audience. You can increase more streams because people are more rocking with you. The people are more in line with what you have going on. Growing on social media, obviously a no-brainer. The more confident you are, the more energy that's genuine, the more people are going to resonate with that, and building a fan base that cares goes right along with it. Getting sponsorships and brand deals. I know a lot of people that have done, been able to gather those over the years, whether it's for a tour that they're doing, whether it's for content for social media or YouTube. There's a lot of opportunities out there, guys. Maybe booking more shows like I talked about. How many times, I'm not going to name him, but one of my students, probably 2 or 3 years ago, this is just at the tail end of the COVID restrictions. He's like, Adam, there's so many different places in town that I want to gig at that I know has live music, but I don't know how to talk to these people. So I literally like wrote him out a script. I'm like, call and say these things, stop in and say these things. And he got 3 shows within the next week or 2. In fact, I'm going to take that back. It's actually a female.
Shout out to Destiny. I'm gonna put her out there anyway. Shout out to Destiny.
Hey, just wanted to pop in and see how you guys are liking the training. Hopefully, so far, so good. Let me know in the comments. But real quick, if you're an independent artist and you need your music on all the different streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, and so forth, DistroKid is your partner for success. Distrodiscount.com. They're going to help you get it up on Spotify and Apple Music, and they have ways to be able to release cover songs and parodies and everything under the sun, as well as some incredible marketing tools. Very, very affordable. Still to this day, they have a great track record for that. Distrodiscount.com. Let's jump back into the training.
I want to teach you guys my ARC system. Those of you who have been writing down the 5 C's, let me know in the chat below. Make sure that we're all following along. Make sure that it's all making sense. Nicholas wrote them down. Henry, yes, yes. Chayton. Anusha. Got Dan. We got Bruno taking notes. Hopefully not too many technical issues. I see some people having, that happens every single time you do a Zoom call, unfortunately. Cool. Amazing. Everybody with it? Okay. So my ARC system is a bridge, just like we're talking about with the relationship, right? You have to get over the bridge from where you are to where you want to be. It starts with the ARC system. The ARC system paired with the 5C process is going to give you an unfair advantage. The ARC system stands for A, being attract. You have to attract the attention. That's where the traffic comes from. Does that make sense? So anybody in the history of making music, even Beethoven, you guys, I don't know him intimately, obviously, but those of you out there that know who Beethoven or Mozart are, do you think they're the only people of that time that played piano? No, they had really great branding. They had great word of mouth. There's plenty of other people building, making, playing at a very high level piano, but they attracted the right attention for those works. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there was 15 other Beethovens out there, but I'm also not saying that there wasn't. We have to attract the attention. That's why we talk about social media. That's why I'm talking about email marketing. That's why I'm talking about getting on camera. That's why I'm talking about networking, because we need to attract the attention. You need to be out in front of the people. We cannot become a household name without being in households, right? So that's how we do it. What do people have in households? Almost all of us. A phone, right? So that's how we get to people. People are on TikTok. People are on Instagram. People are still on Facebook. People are on YouTube. People are on Pinterest. People are on fill in the blank. And in 5 years, it's going to be a few other ones that are popping up. So A, from ARC, the attract, we have to bring people in. We have to have our voices heard. And that's the different hooks that we're putting out into the world. It's fishing. We have to put out this bait. It's not working. Put out this bait. It's not working. Put out this bait. Oh, that worked. Now I have their attention and I bring them to R, which is retain. A lot of people pop in and look at your social media accounts. They'll look at your website, pop over to Spotify, check your stuff out. But do you have enough to keep them around? Retain or relationships is so important here. I know that I showed you guys like the online dating flow chart, but that's what it is. I don't care if you are a 60-year-old jazz musician or a 19-year-old trap rapper. You need to be able to make your people feel something, and that's relationships. Why do you think huge names charge out the ass for meet and greets after their concerts? Because the people care about these artists so much. They look up to these artists so much. They care to the point where they spend their money for that 30 seconds, a photo, to be able to solidify that interaction, put it up on a shelf, tell people about it, post it to social media for social proof, for status, for all different reasons. But once we attract it, we have to keep people around. And C is the cash, baby. It's the conversion, like we were talking about with the 5 C's. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but none of us have businesses without money, right? Like if you had a lawn care business and you're mowing people's lawns and they're not paying you, eventually you're going to run out of gas to get there, run out of gas in the lawnmower. Like we need to be able to fuel our growth fuel our business, fuel our lives, fuel the things that matter to us with the money. So as artists, we have everything from merch to streaming income, partnerships, like I said, gigging, concert tickets, shows, obviously, and a whole lot of other things such as a Patreon. You know, I have several students that make a few $1,000s a month just from Patreon, including one of my best friends, Zach, DJ DeVille. Shout out to Zach. He's the reason I'm here because he introduced me to music production in 2005. And he's making $2,000 or $3,000 a month with his Patreon, sharing old remixes that he did like 10 years ago. Because there's that many people that look up to him and want that old vault content. Yeah, shout out to Patreon. This is what I'm going back to, guys. I'm just leaving it there. Just look at it. You got to attract them. I don't talk about this a lot, but my wife and I met on a dating app called Bumble. It's where the dude matches with the girl and the girl gets to decide whether or not she likes you enough to reach out to you. Otherwise, you can't talk to him at all. So Bruno said, yeah, the dude looks like he's about to get lucky. Oh, shout out to the guy I matched with. I'm very confused here. I believe it's kind of a scammer because Jessica Smith, frame 1, is now Jane in frame 4. If you guys, the bit of a sleuth, somebody's catfishing somebody. Here's the thing. This is what it is. It's attract. It's get their attention. Give them a little bit more information. Give them a little bit more content. Give them a little bit something extra that they need, that have that conversation, whether it be direct, whether it be through your content, whether it be through your consistency. Maybe it's you sharing your life on stories, something that comes and goes and isn't that serious. They go from a complete follower, a complete stranger that bumps into you, then becomes a follower. And through these overall or consistent interactions, now they become somebody who's in a relationship with you passively. I don't say this to brag whatsoever, but you know, I've been at the most random places in my life and people recognize me. I've been recognized overseas. I've been recognized at an Olive Garden. Shout out to my server. Kind of forgot his name, but a super cool guy. We connected on Instagram afterwards. I've been recognized at 2 football games, like NFL games, like weirdly, like, oh, you're Adam Ivy. Hey, never intended to do any of that. My wife hates it every time. She's like, oh, he's not going to be able to fit his head in the car when we get back to the parking lot, right? Shout out to my wife for keeping me grounded. But here's the thing. You have to be able to put that out there. You have to put your best foot forward. You have to build your brand. Actually, I'm just releasing a book that you guys will have access to here soon. I'll talk about it later, called You're Not a Musician, You're a Brand. And I did that on purpose, first and foremost, as a marketer. Yeah, you're still a musician, but you are a brand. The brand needs to be important. I did it kind of get people talking, piss them off a little bit. But like, you're not just a musician. If you want to do it for a career, if you want to do it for a living. The one thing about being a musician is, like I said earlier, it's too easy to call yourself a musician. If you want to become a doctor, if you want to become an engineer, if you want to become a lawyer, if you want to become a firefighter or police officer, you cannot legally just call yourself these things. And now, at least not here in America. You can go to prison for pretending to be a cop. You can definitely fuck somebody up if you tell them you're a doctor. But now we can go into a guitar center, get inspired, walk out of that guitar center. You go to Instagram, Adam Ivy, musician. Yeah, take that, Dad. Right? Now, next thing you know, you're like in this lump of people that you hate because it's oversaturated, right? But it's not oversaturated by creative entrepreneurs who happen to be musicians. It's oversaturated by the posers, the people that call themselves the musicians and don't take action. They would just rather have a social profile that's like an alter ego of theirs. But in real life, they're working at a gas station. They don't really ever work on their music. They don't work on themselves. They don't have any systems. They like the idea more than the actual integration, you know? Now it's time to address the elephant in the room. I chose like a cute little elephant. I'm like, oh, my daughter would love that, right? My little daughter, when we say, what does an elephant do? She goes, wow. She does. It's so cute. Maybe I'll share it with you guys. I try not to share her too much on social media because it's weird. Here's the thing. The elephant in the room is that I'm retiring. As I mentioned earlier, I've been doing this shit a long time. I've been making content on Instagram as early as 2015, if not, or I'm sorry, on YouTube, 2015. It was actually before that. But that video I had unlisted or went private. So think about that. February of 2015 is that first video that you see. Till now, it's 10 years. And over those 10 years, I've poured everything I can into my Sell Music Masterclass. Everything that we're talking about here is just a blip as far as what we teach in that program. The reason that I'm retiring from public music marketing content is because you guys don't need any more of that on YouTube. You don't need any more of that on social media, and I don't need to be making that stuff anymore. Been teaching it for 10 years. There are plenty of folks out there, but you've been talking about the same stuff for 10 years. Well, maybe if you would have started doing that stuff 10 years ago, you'd understand, because foundational marketing is foundational marketing. You don't need the flash in the pan, flashy stuff. That's not going to work for you. Just because some douche on an ad says, like, you want to learn how I got 400,000 followers or 400,000 monthly listeners in 2 days with $60 investment. Like, there's too many of those people. I don't want to be the guy who's making content for you guys on social media over and over and over again. That's not addressing the root of the issue. So my content moving forward, I'm going to be doubling down on a business that I have called Attention at Scale. It's helping creative entrepreneurs with their branding, their video marketing, and a lot of YouTube advice as far as like what gear to use, how to connect with an audience, everything that we work with or work on together. But I'm not going to be doing any more how to get on Spotify playlists, how to have 100,000. Like I've never really wanted to do that stuff. I want to be able to serve you guys in a way that I'm able to, because I've scaled 3 7-figure businesses, 2 6-figure businesses, including my own music career. There's a lot of people out there that teach it that have never done it. Nobody else in the music marketing space has a capital equipment company that's done $3.2 million in the last 2 years. Nobody has the experience of being a marketing director for a tech company for 10 years. I have a level 10 skill set that I don't want to continue to dilute. So those of you who've been rocking with me with the Sell Music Masterclass or want to join in, this is a very special training for me because it's the last time that I'm ever opening up enrollment again. The Sell Music Masterclass, over 25 modules. This is where I'm going to be pouring all my time. Those of you who've been in the masterclass, you guys can talk about it in the chat right now. Like, we're going to be doing live calls in the Mastermind group. That's where I'm going to be. If Adam Ivy is doing any music marketing, anything, it's going to be within the Sell Music Mastermind group, in that private community of people who have taken action, who have joined in. You're also going to get all these different things. I'm pulling out all the stops. And I appreciate you guys being here. But number one is the music funnel framework. I shared this with one of my Accelerator program students, and his streams went from less than 1,000 streams to over 10,000 streams in like 2 or 3 weeks from just doing this. So that's a bonus. I'm not going to be doing like the whole, like, this is worth like $80,000. Like, they're reasonable, right? But this is all bonuses that we're going to be joining, the curriculum of the Sell Music Masterclass. You're also going to get the Art of Selling Beats Online for those producers. The Sell Music Masterclass is all about building a successful music career, but I don't want my music producers to be left in the dark. So I went on a deep dive, a wild ride on exactly how to do that as a producer's trying to sell beats online. Number 3, it's the 7-step music selling cycle. This is essentially a funnel for how to gain attention, how to talk to your audience, how to build intrigue and get them to take action. Bonus number 4 is the Spotify Launch Blueprint. I show you all the standard operating procedures as far as the best practices to be able to get on, get your footing when it comes to Spotify. We talk about playlisting. We talk about the different playlists. We talk about strategies and tactics, but also the principles and foundational stuff. Bonus number 5 is a guide. I ate lunch like right before this, so I apologize. Number 5 is a guide to monetizing your music. I break down over a dozen different ways on how you could start making money with your music, because again, if you're not making money, it's not a real business quite yet. And that's my goal for all of you guys. AI for indie artists. I'm not talking about Adam Ivy. I'm talking about artificial intelligence. This is a whole breakdown of different prompts that I've used, not only myself, but used with students in my $5,000 programs that have really helped them kind of get into flow state and build momentum. Number 7 is accelerator sessions. This is something that I was really on the fence about adding, but I feel like now that I'm retiring from this, I'm going to just pull the plug and just give you everything. Accelerator sessions are very, very special because these are handpicked question and answers that I've had with my top level students, my $5,000 3-month accelerator program in inner circle members. These are recorded. They're very to the point. There's over 120 question and answers. This alone could be its own like $1,000 program. In fact, what the heck is his name? God, I feel so bad. Anyway, one of my students on a call came in. He's like a mild mannered dude, and Daniel, and he goes, Adam, you did a really bad job of like selling those accelerator sessions to me because I just spent the weekend watching them, and like that's worth the price of admission to begin with. And he had paid me $5,000. Like that was his feedback, right? Bonus number 8 is a sync licensing workshop. There's going to be more sync licensing content that is within the program from near and dear friends of mine who are masters of their art. We're going to be able to show you how to get into the world, how it works, because the sync licensing space is not the music industry, it's the TV and film industry. So it's 2 different things, but we show you how to get into it, how to build momentum, and how to possibly take off with a career in sync licensing. And number 9 is what I mentioned earlier. It's my private Sell Music Mastermind group. This is where you're going to find me. This is where you can ask me questions. You can ask the team. You can be around like-minded people that support you, like I was talking about in the first few slides. That's what it's all about. My mom like is super supportive, but my mom's been supportive of anything. I could sell like blueberry infused pickles at a craft fair and she would just think it's amazing. You need people around you that understand what you're doing, understand you're crazy, and understand how frustrating it can be. And that's where the Sell Music Mastermind group is. I'm not saying everybody's frustrated, but we get it, right? Now, lifetime access. I'm not the guy who's like going to charge you for a year and then you have to like re-up every year. If you joined in the Sell Music Masterclass 1.0 back in 2018, you still have all of the updates. You are now in the most current version ever. It's like the best investment you ever made, right? But the thing is, over the years, I've charged $9.97 for lifetime access. I understand the economy is shit right now. A lot of people are struggling. I get a lot of DMs, a lot of emails. And with me offering this for the final time, I don't want to give you guys any reason to hesitate. So what I'm doing is I'm not charging $9.97. I'm giving you lifetime access at $4.97. It's the lowest I've ever offered, including all the bonuses. There is a payment, like a split pay, on the enrollment page, but this is how you join.
Hey, so as you heard in the training, I'm opening up my Sell Music Masterclass for the final time. I'm calling it my retirement sale. I'm going to be serving the Sell Music Masterclass students in that private group, and that's the only place that I'm going to be talking about deep diving strategies on music career development. That's where I'm going to be interviewing my close friends that are music industry, I don't want to call them gods or anything, but like superstars, they're really crushing it. And that's where I'm going to be nerding out about everything music marketing, music branding, music business, music career. So giving it away for 50% off, best price I will ever offer. And this is the last time I will ever offer it. So I'll put a link on the screen. I'll also have a link in the description box below. Guys, go to the page, check it out. I have so many bonuses that I'm throwing in here. I've literally searched all my hard drives, things that I developed for high ticket students, meaning I had an accelerator program that was $5,000 for 3 months, built out this entire bundle of bonuses that you guys will not want to miss. Just go to sellmusicmasterclass.com. I'll put the link in the description box below. If you have enjoyed my YouTube content, if you've enjoyed the things that I've taught you, if any of my videos have ever been helpful for you, you're not going to want to miss this. I've recently, actually early this year, shut down my Accelerator program. I recently shut down my Musician Hub community, and I'm going to go all in and focus on the Sell Music Masterclass students, the curriculum, the community, the discussions, the live streams, and so forth. So I'd love for you to be a part of that. It's not for everybody, but if you want to take your music to the next level, it's under $500 and there's a payment option. I think it's a no-brainer type of deal. A lot of people have been transformed with this program, and I hope that you are the next person on that list. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this training and how long you've been rocking with me. I'd love to see that. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm just shifting some things, which I'll explain soon. Speaking of shifting things, if you want to take your brand to the next level, watch this video next. If you haven't yet, click that little subscribe button to join the channel family here. Let me know in the comments what you think. And until next time, I appreciate you watching.